Now here we have a form, a very basic form, full name, password, and just the submit button. To get started making use of React Hook form, you need to install it. npm install React Hook form. Form. We're going to open our form on the browser. npm run dev. Open it. Very basic, right? Yeah, so what we want to do is to make use of React Hook form in managing our form. So the very first thing that you want to do is to import your useForm from React Hook form. We'll do useForm, and inside it we want to define our default values. It's just the shape of your form. In our case, it's the full name, empty string, then password, which is an empty string also. Now the first thing is to register your input fields. In other words, to connect your input fields to React Hook form. So that is done by the help of the register prop from useForm. We will come here to our first input and register it. It's called full name. The same thing to our password, but this time it will be password. So that way our inputs are connected to React Hook form now. And the very first thing that you want to do is to ensure that the form is not submitted while the inputs are empty. So we're going to make these input fields required, name required, same way to our password. I'm going to say password required. That way we're going to add a mod here. Mod. This is basically telling React Hook form when to run your validations. Yeah, so on touch we're going to see how this is different. The default one is on submit, but we're going to see how this one works. For now, whenever we have these kind of errors, or when this requirement is not fulfilled, we want to show some kind of an error down here for the user to know what they're supposed to do. So that way we are going to get the errors. It's errors actually. So errors, come here, where are we? Here, errors dot full name. So whenever we have any error for this field, registered as full name, we are going to show the user something. So errors dot full name dot message. You see this name required. So we can make the error better by styling it a little bit. So text, say excess, then text red 500. Okay, now let's do the same to our password. We can just copy this, copy it. Where are we? Here. Copy it and do password instead of full name. Password. So now I can show you the difference between this on touch and the other modes. So as I told you earlier, the default mode is on submit. So these validations are not going to be done until you hit your submit button. In the case of on submit, on submit, which is the default one, meaning if you leave it without a mod, automatically it's going to be on submit mode. So we can refresh it. Let's see now, you see. But for the case of untouched, you see, now that's the difference. You can play around with the other modes so as to see how they work. The other thing is to make sure that your form is not causing the whole thing to refresh, you know. So that way we're going to get another prop here, which is handle submit. Now what this handle submit does is it first of all it prevents the default behavior of the submission. This one, it prevents this one. The next thing that it does is it runs your validations and see if there are any errors. In the case of errors, it updates your errors. When there are no errors, it's going to take the data, the values of your input fields, and pass it to the callback, or rather your submit handler. So handle submit, sorry, on submit, you want to do submit, then submit form. Let's create this function. So const that way. So let us say it just logs something. Let's say the data is going to be passed here. So handle submit is going to prevent the default submission behavior. It's going to run your validations. In the case of errors, it's going to update this errors object. When there are no errors, it's going to collect those input fields values and pass them as an argument to your submit form function. So you see, okay, let's fulfill that one. You see now the browser is not refreshing, right? So we can proceed. Well, we can proceed and add some other validations. The validation, do max length value, let's say 3, right? 3, and message must be at least 3 characters. That way. Oh, it's minimum length must be at least 3 characters. So name required, when you do 1 character, being told 3 characters, and there we have it. That's better. And then for our password also, we need something of the same kind. So we can just copy it because we don't like typing too much. Paste it there. And now do, let's say 6. Password is required, must be at least 6 characters, then 5 characters, 6th character, the error is gone. So the same to our name, 1, 2, 3, it's gone. That's better. We can deal with the submission now. So let me open the console. So open the console. Where are you? You have your data there. the best user experience is to show some loading state here while you're submitting your form, right? So that way we are going to get is submitting from form state. So we take is submitting, come to our button and say if is submitting, you would want to show something like submitting that way, or else you want to say, hey, submit stuff. So now when we fill our form, password, but we're not seeing the submitting state. Well, this is because your submit form function is not asynchronous. The function passed to handle submit should be asynchronous. In other words, it should have some awaited logic inside it. So you come here and do async, then we're going to simulate a promise here. So I'm going to say new promise, say resolve in maybe 1 second. Oh, we need to await this one. Wait, let's see if that's going to work. You see, submitting, then after 1 second the thing is being submitted now. So that way you're good to go with your form, and you can add some other validations. You can add even other complex validation. Yeah, so you can do like pattern value. Let me say I'm doing a regular expression to ensure that your password contains alphanumeric values also. That one, and say message must contain alphanumeric values. That way. So let's try if that works. Must be at least 6 characters. Oops, it's not working. Must be at least 6 characters. Oops. Oh my goodness. This is on the name. My bad. So it's supposed to be down here. The password. How did I miss that? So you see, first of all, we have that password is required, then must be at least 6 characters. When you do 6 alphabets like da, you're going to be told must contain alphanumeric value. So when we add a numeric value, there it's gone. So name, say on JavaScript. There we have it. Password, say then a numeric value. Yeah, submitting. There we are. We are good to go. So that's it for this one. And yeah,